This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we will begin the Thursday, August the 27th of 2020 meeting of the CDBG Steering Committee at 11:12 a.m. The first item will be roll call.
Okay. Spence Redwine.
Here.
Effie Bowden.
Here.
Todd Catone.
Here.
Okay.
All right. To start off with, I'd like to go over a little bit of background. We received some funds from HUD for the CARES Act in the amount of $156,302 to assist the LMI.
Felicia?
Yes.
Felicia, item 3A is the minutes from last meeting. So maybe can we do that one first?
Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's okay. We'll receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on the minutes from the meeting on July the 16th of 2020. Are there any corrections, or omissions to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Okay, minutes are approved. At this time, we will hold a public hearing. Citizens may speak on items listed on the agenda as an individual consideration. A request to speak card must be filled out and turned in before the committee considers the items listed. Citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes. Receive a report, hold a discussion, conduct a public hearing, and take action on a substantial amendment to the Community Development Block Grant 2019 Annual Action Plan to allocate $173,668 of CDBG money to the Coronavirus Response Funds to be used to prevent, prepare for, and respond to COVID-19. We will open the public hearing at this time.
Okay.
Are there any comments? Go ahead. Yeah.
I apologize for jumping ahead of you, Spence. Okay.
No worries. No worries.
Okay, so just piggyback on what you just said, on that, on the information you just provided, we did post in the Herald Democrat on the 16th of August about all of our meetings, and we're also going to talk about the substantial amendment to the 2019 Annual Action Plan, and we have Amanda here from Wade Trim that's going to speak to us about this amendment.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Amanda Warner. I'm a planner with Wade Trim, with our consultant assisting the city of Denison on this plan. And I just want to give you first some background about the CARES Act and the Coronavirus Response Funds, and then additionally provide a summary of the anticipated funds and budget that the city expects to receive. And then finally provide an overview of the process to amend the plan and to include these funds. So in response to the coronavirus pandemic, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development has notified the city that it will receive an allocation of $173,660 of Community Development Block Grant Program Coronavirus Response Funds. So these are also called CDBG CV funds, and they're specifically used to prevent, prepare for, and respond to COVID-19. So those are the only uses earmarked for these funds. The allocation was authorized by the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, otherwise known as the CARES Act. That's Public Law 116-136, and that was signed by President Trump on March 27th, 2020. So that CARES Act was put in place to respond to the growing effects of the public health crisis that's currently ongoing. So the city's federal annual action plan details the funding strategy to be used for the spending of community development block funds each program year. So that annual action plan implements the jurisdiction's multi-year consolidated plan and is developed through significant citizen participation, analysis, and planning. So part of receiving these funds is the requirement to amend the annual action plan to include the CDBG CV funding. So today we're going to be talking about the 2019 annual action plan and the process to amend that plan to include the CDBG CV funds. So right now, the annual action plan does not include any projects pertaining to CDBG CV funding. So what the amendment will do will add 2 projects to the plan. So the first project is a public services project that will meet the national objective of LMI or limited clientele, and the CDBG eligible activity would be public services. Some of the activities that are proposed to be funded under that project are financial assistance to establish, stabilize, and expand micro enterprises that provide education, medical, food delivery, cleaning, and other services to support health and childcare. Additionally, funding may go toward multiple public service agencies that are providing public services that prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus pandemic. So this is specifically a public services oriented project, but the activities under it will be geared toward meeting that requirement of addressing COVID-19 related issues. And then a second project is proposed, and that would be planning and administration of those public services activities. So additionally, a planning and administration project for LMI limited clientele, and then the eligible activity would be administration and planning. So the funding breakdown of those is $156,302 towards the public services project, and then $17,366 toward the planning and administration project. And those projects combined will total the expected or anticipated CDBG CV allocation. So in addition to those 2 projects, the HUD basically requires you to amend your citizen participation plan to also include language to help address situations where an emergency or disaster event is declared and how you will respond to that with public participation. So for example, in the event of emergency, you may not be able to have a 30-day comment period. You might only be able to have a limited or short comment period. So in addition to the amendment of the 2019 annual action plan, we're also proposing to amend the citizen participation plan as required by HUD. And that will include additional language for citizen involvement during emergency situations. I'm just going to read that draft language to you. So we would be amending the citizen participation plan to include language that reads, in the event that the conditions or urgent needs of a national, state, or local emergency limit the city's ability to carry out the citizen participation process outlined in the citizen participation plan, such as a natural disaster, infectious disease outbreak, such as COVID-19, or other event that is declared as emergency by local, state, or federal officials, the city hereby establishes expedited procedures for citizen involvement. These expedited procedures may apply to all HUD-related plans and reporting documents, including the consolidated plan, annual action plan, CAPER, fair housing reports, and substantial amendments. Any required public notice and comment period may be reduced to 5 days in duration, or the minimum number of days advised by a HUD waiver of citizen participation requirements. If in-person public hearings are not allowed for health safety reasons cited by national, state, and local authorities, public hearing requirements may be met with virtual meetings or virtual public hearings if such virtual hearings provide reasonable notification and access for citizens, timely responses from local officials to all citizen questions and issues, and public access to all questions and responses. Documents and reports should be made available for public review as defined within the city's current citizen participation plan. And in the event that conditions prohibit hard copy distribution and documents and reports, the city will make such materials available upon request. HUD may issue further or alternative guidance for citizen participation during a national, state, or local emergency event, in which case such guidance from HUD will supersede or replace the expedited process outlined herein. So that's the language that's being proposed to be added to the citizen participation plan to address situations like the one we're currently in related to COVID-19. And that information has been added within the citizen participation plan in the draft format that's included in your agenda packet. And then the public, go ahead.
No, I just said okay. I'm sorry, I was
Okay.
thinking out loud.
Oh, no, that's okay. And then the public process for amendment. So it begins with this meeting today that we're having. And then additionally, the city will provide a public notice in the newspaper advertising a 5-day public comment period, as was just described in that amended language in the citizen participation plan requirements. And then subsequent to that, the city will accept public comment during that 5-day period. So that starts September 2nd and then runs through September 7th. Comments can be provided as advertised, and then subsequent to that, it's anticipated that the city will take action to approve the amendments to the annual action plan and the citizen participation plan at a regular meeting scheduled on September 8th. So that's the process for amendment. And then after that, the city, in conjunction with us, will be preparing the actual language for submittal to HUD. Once that's approved, we'll be putting it into the online HUD system. But for now, for today's meeting, we're looking for input from you all on this proposed amendment. And with that, I'll open it to question.
Todd, Effie, do you guys have any questions or comments regarding the summary and the explanations?
I don't.
Nope.
I understood everything, read all the
Yeah.
information sent, so I don't have any questions.
I don't either, but I do appreciate the presentation, and I'm very thankful that we have the opportunity to do this. If there's no questions or comments from the board members or any further comments from staff, do I hear a motion regarding this request?
I move to approve the substantial amendment adopting the Community Development Block Grant 2019 Annual Action Plan to include the proposed CDBG CV budget to fund public services and administration of eligible activities from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES, for building and improvements and assistance to businesses, including special economic development assistance.
Thank you,
There
Effie.
has been a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Effie, you get double pay today for reading
I
that
know,
long
man.
motion.
I was about to do it.
That's what
Do
43
we have
years
any-
of teaching will do.
There you go. That's right. This is not your first rodeo, is it?
Right.
Do we have any further comments from staff or the board members on any action items?
I don't just comment that I'll just move forward, move down the schedule for moving it forward to city council for adoption also.
Okay. Okay. Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that. We are adjourned. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. It was good to hear from you guys.
Thank you. I apologize again.
Good to hear from you.
All good. Thank you all.
Yeah, y'all
you.
have a good
Goodbye
day.
to everyone. Be safe.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Good job. You did it. Thank you, Robert.